Sherry, Deborah, awesome.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello. Good.
Good.
How are you?
Bill. Oh, very good. And
Good.
Scott was here at the beginning. What happened? Oh, he's still there. Good. All right. So everybody's good?
Yeah.
That's good. Great. Oh, there's Scott. Hi, Scott.
So,
Hey. A couple of people said they wouldn't be able to tune in for one reason or another. Maybe they're tired of the whole thing. I'll tell you though, I'm getting tired of the screens. I have to say, there's a lot of screen in my life between this and the online school with the kids, and it does start to get the better of you for sure after a while.
Yep.
All those pixels. So how's the fiddling coming there, everybody? How are we getting along? Anybody having any revelations or discouraging events or anything that they'd like to relate about their experience this week playing the fiddle?
well, I'd like to know about peg oil or making those fine tuning pegs just a little bit easier because, man, that is a tiny little screw.
Oh, you mean down on the tailpiece?
Yeah, on the tailpiece.
The best
But,
advice I ever heard about lubricating, so they hitch up, is it? You're trying to turn them and they're really, really stiff, or they stop
Super
and you
tight.
gotta, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the best advice I've ever heard about that was from Heinel. Andreas, the guy that works there, he said that you take them all the way out and stick them into a bar of dry soap, like a bar of soap.
Oh,
Take
okay.
them back out and then
Okay.
thread them back in. You might have to do it a couple of times to really get some in there, but that is apparently the best way to deal with stuck tailpiece
Super tight pegs. Okay.
tuners.
Okay, good. I must say I'm getting, I think the whole, it's sort of an art of tuning, is it not?
Now, yes, I might have mentioned it before. It takes a long time to properly learn how to tune your fiddle.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
not like the
So,
guitar or the mandolin or something where you just kind of tune each note to the tuner. Now, you can do that, and you can get into the ballpark enough to play without any problem, you know?
Could you give me a drink or something?
But to properly get the fiddle ringing with the perfect fifths, it just takes a little
Right.
bit of training. And I think I explained about it last time.
yeah.
Yeah. And now, can I just quickly see your tailpiece there?
Oh, sure. I didn't pay a lot of money for this file. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to kill my background. I'll try to kill my background.
Sure. Because if they're near the bottom or up near the top, that's kind of the stiffest spot on those little threaded rods. Especially near the bottom, it gets really, really stiff. So if you're near the bottom, you might want to turn them out and give yourself some tuning room. That also really helps.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, because it's just a rough part of the thread, and if you don't use the fine tuners, like they don't actually move up and down that much. They do over time. So, and that's what happens with fine tuners when you're tuning and tuning and tuning your fiddle. After a while, the fine tuners all get down to the bottom, right?
Right.
And so that means you got to twist the pegs up a little bit, turn them back out to a reasonable kind of tuning room, and then you're good for another 50,000. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, car dealer father. And in fact, on my fiddle here, on the G string, you can see that it is almost at the bottom. See that? And I really, really should turn it out. And I think the last time I tuned up, I went to sharpen it up, and it wouldn't go because it was at the bottom. I just went, eh. So let me see. Let me just check and see how far it is out. Okay, so it's in tune today, so I'm not going to bother turning it out. But I do suggest, being proactive about it to give yourself good tuning room. But yeah, so stick it in a bar of soap and see if that helps.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
How about anybody else? Any revelations or questions or discouraging events about playing the fiddle this week? Nobody? Cool. Yes. Hey, Heather.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. Going from E to A3.
Yeah. Yes, that sucks. Do you find it also going from A to D3 or D to G3?
A to D3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that's very common to have problems with that move. Have you tried putting tape on the neck of your fiddle yet? Okay. So what happens when on your first attempt to go from E to D, that's a D by the way, when you put your third finger on the A string, what happens? Is it too low? Is it too high? Or what happens?
I think my finger is touching the A string and it squeaks, and then I have to hunt for the A3.
Okay. Now watch me do it. Okay. Can you see my hand really, really clearly there? Yeah. So check out where my fingers are. Do you see how they're actually on the D string? See that? I'm playing A3, but my finger is all the way over on both the A and the D. And I usually do that. It's a method, of course, for me. That way they're well out of the way of that E. And if I do happen to touch the E, just get a little double stop. It's no big deal. See what I mean? So I get them well out of the way of that other string. Also, it helps if you make sure you have a nice curve to your hand like that. See that? And a curve to the finger. Because then it clears that other string quite well.
Still working on the curve. It's still uncomfortable.
Okay, let me see you do it. Let me see you hold the fiddle.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So when you put your wrist out like that, it's actually uncomfortable? Like that?
When I have to reach over for 3G or 3D is D3 or G3 are still, I'm still in training, I guess, to reach over.
Okay. The other thing, and I don't know if we got there yet, but when you move from string to string, so if you're having trouble, getting all the way over to the G or the D, when you move from string to string, you try to do it with your elbow. See that? That's how I do it. I swing my elbow over, and then you can see it like the whole typewriter. That's what I call that. Where your fingers are there. It's like the typewriter keys. The whole thing moves over. See that?
That helps.
Yeah. And now you're not reaching like this, like in a weird way. You're just kind of, just like usual, coming down on the string. Okay? So try to get that elbow involved and going from string to string. Yeah, there you go. See, and you usually have lots of reaching room if you do it that way. All right. Who else? Anything else? Any questions before we get started? I love questions. They're my favorite. Anyone? Anyone? All right. Well, let's just get into it then, shall we? So let's see. We got our scales, right? Which scales have we got so far? We have G, and we've done the 1 octave scales, the D and the A, right? Okay, good. So why don't we start off with the 1 octave scales? Let's do A first for a change, okay? We'll do A first, and then we'll do D, and then we'll do G. But we might try a couple of the bowing exercises on the scale today. So we'll just play the regular scale up and down, and then we'll try, say, the down, up, up on each note of the scale after that, okay? So we're starting with A major there, guys. I'm just going to mute everybody unless everybody else has a question or anything like that. No? Okay, here we go, mute. All right. A major, here we go. Ready, and... still fighting with her shoulder rest, which I understand. It's a fight the good fight, Mimi. Get it comfy. Okay? Now let's do it again right away, just for the practice. All right? A major. Ready, two, and here we go. Okay. I gotta let the goat farmer in. Stacy. Okay, so that's the A major, just regular. Now everybody getting along okay with that? Not too difficult, getting fairly in the ballpark with the intonation and stuff like that? Okay. Let me know if you have any problems. Now, let's try one of these bowing patterns. So we're going to go down, up on each note. It's going to sound like this. Okay? And that's how we're going to go up and down the scale. So let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, go. Go. Did that feel all right? Yeah? Okay, good. Let's do it again right away there, guys. If it was so good, let's see if we can do it just like that, except better. Okay. 1, 2, A major. Pretty confident. Anybody having any problems with that? With the left hand or the right hand? How was it coming down to A3 that time there, Heather? Is it better? Oh, good. That's great. Okay. Yeah, great. That's good. Anybody else having any problems at all? Should we move to D? Let's move to D. My favorite keys. D for Dan, I guess. Okay, so we'll do it just regular first. 1, 2, on the D. So when we do these bowing exercises we got the left hand going, so we want to make sure we're getting, you know, relatively in tune as you possibly can get, but also that you're moving the bow nice and straight and not at an angle to the strings. Now, how's everybody doing with that and with noticing that? Because that's the biggest problem with trying to move your bow straight, is noticing if you're doing it or not. Everybody able to keep an eye on yourself and see if you're moving the bow straight? For the most part? Yeah?
All I know is that my mirror lies. My
Indeed.
mirror lies.
Yeah.
It feels straight, and I'm like, whoa. That's
Yeah. But you know, the good thing about that extreme is that it's such a signal. Like, you know, so now when you think if it's straight, it's not.
Yeah.
And you know that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just to get the tendency. So I was teaching somebody last night who's kind of pretty brand new out of the box, but he has been playing for, say, 9 months or something like that. And he was this guy. See that?
Right on.
Okay? And it's because there's two kinds of people, right, with the bow. There's these people and there's these people. I tend towards this because I have this awful bad habit. When I go for the E, I tend to tuck my arm in a little bit, making me do that. See that? And it's real bad on the E because the E really does not like that. Like any little thing and it'll squawk at you. So tucking that in is a problem. Now, I have not still to this day been able to conquer that tuck in. I still do it a tiny bit. So I've given up the fight, and rather than making my arm not do that tuck in anymore, I just counteract it by splaying out my fingers like that and kind of compensating and getting that bow straight that way. See that? Now, I'm a fiddle player, so I can do that because I'm usually, most of the time, just using my hand to play. And so that means that I can kind of kick them fingers out like that. And so it is handy. But definitely, if you can get a comfy place where you don't have to do any tricks like that, it's better. But that's what's important about that. Okay? Anybody having any problems keeping the bow straight? Is it something that's a chronic problem for anybody? Like me? Yeah, you too, Lena? And the doorway, of course. I can't stress the doorway enough. You know? Oh, you're that kind of person? There you go. So, oh, that's this. So, yeah, so maybe you could try kind of doing it that way. Yeah. Now, you just did that with your arm. You went like this. See how I'm doing it? See that? Yeah, that's better. Hey, that's good control there. So that might do it for you. Okay? Anybody else? There's also this here, eh? Always good to check in on. And the guy I was working with last night, he had never heard of this here. He did it 5 or 6 times, and then he was bowing straight for a little while. Okay, so very good to do this. Check in once in a while. Just see how your wrist has to move and make sure you do it here. Okay? So now, let's try a different bowing pattern on that D. Let's try the hokum bowing, or the hop bunny, hop bunny. Okay? And lots of bow. Plenty of bow, guys. That's what these exercises are for. Get her moving. Okay, here we go. Oh, 1, 2, 3, go. 1. All right, how did that do? Bit of a challenge? Anybody have any problems? Let's do it again then. 1, 2, 3, go. looking pretty good. Now, let's see. We'll move on to the G scale. But let's see about what other bowing exercise we should do. Maybe we should go straight to the chicken. So that means it's going to sound like this. Okay, let's give it a go. What is the worst that could happen? A little slower than that. 1, 2, 3, go. Sorry about the C sharp. Okay, now, who wants to play a little bit of that for me? I'm watching everybody. It looks relatively good there, but I love checking in, okay? Because I am in absolute silence here playing on my own. So, who would like to give that a little bit of a go for me so I can see how it's coming along? Anyone? Anyone? I have my winning smile. Sherry's going to do it.
Actually, I was going to say, that was terrible. Could we all do it again?
Sure, let's do it. Why not? All right. This will give you a good practice run for whoever's going to play it for me. 1, 2, 3, go. right, that go a little better? Yeah? Cool. Okay, who's going to give it to me? Anyone? Mimi's going to do it. There you go, Mimi. Could be, could be.
I apologize for my chicken bow. I'm having difficulty with it tonight,
Oh, really? Okay.
but I'll give it a shot.
Sure. Okay. Now that's actually, you're doing pretty good there, Mimi. Like, first of all, your intonation, doing really good. I hear you bringing that pressure in, and it's helping. See, that helps your bow move freely when you're uprightly in tune. So when you're doing the chicken, first of all, you might want to do it. I was experimenting when I was doing it for you guys. I was experimenting on how far I was going down, how far I was going up, and what it did to the chicken. And I found that if you go too far down towards the frog, it makes it kind of tough. It's not impossible, but it's tougher. I'm thinking that this part here is the easiest part to start doing the chicken, okay? So just try to choke up a little bit on it, do a little bit higher up on the bow, and also, once your bow hits the strings, you can let it kind of lay there for a little longer.
Okay. So not quite so staccato. It can be a bit more.
A little bit more what they call détaché. All
Okay.
right?
Can I try that?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So. A bit more like that?
That's better. Yeah, you could even give it a little more length, but I'll let you experiment with it, you know? See if you can get it so that it's a little bit more body.
Yeah, because I'm sort of right now bouncing up too high, and then when I come back down for the long, I just ricochet a bunch. And then,
Yep. Now, did I explain about the bounce on the down bow last time? Did I explain how to deal with that?
yeah, but I'm not controlling that very well.
Well, I'll tell you, at this point, don't worry too much about the long ones. Keep in mind how to correct that bounce with the weight, right? Bringing in the weight at the right time. And just give it a crack every time. If it doesn't work out, we're going to continue to work on the long bowing, and that'll get stronger. But this chicken thing, if it's bouncing good, and the worst thing is that your long ones are a little bouncy, don't worry too much about that.
Okay, great.
Okay? Awesome try, though. Who else going to give it a go? Scott's going to do it. Right on, Scott. Okay, that's really good, man. Really, really good. So what I like is nice steady sound for those short ones. Like giving it a good length and it's consistent. That's really good. And get a good intonation too. The only thing I would say is try to just be a little bit more supple with this here. Okay? Try not to do it all with your arm. Try to make the initial approach a little bit more like that. It might be a little bit weird at first, but you'll end up having more control. Okay? Very good though, man. Very good. Anybody else before we go on? Deborah, you want to try it?
Okay. This is working on my anxiety being on Zoom too. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
More or less.
It's all right. So your bow is moving pretty good. Like I like how your bow is moving. You could go a little bit slower with it, you know? Give yourself a
speak up when I
chance.
get nervous.
Of course, we all do. We all do. But give yourself a chance. Try to breathe, stuff like that. That really helps with that whole tightening up. Going faster when you're nervous is just a matter of tightening up. That's all it is, you know? This turns into this, and you end up going faster, okay? So just try to breathe and give yourself, you know, who cares, whatever, you know, let it go, as they say, right? But in terms of the bow moving, it was doing pretty good, you know? It was moving pretty straight, and I could hear the sound pretty good. With your left hand, you could tell that you were flat, and that's what stopped you, was when you hit that note, and you could tell you were flat, and you were kind of like, oh, God, and that's what's going on there. So one good thing about it, your ears get the idea. Your ears starting to be able to tell when you're flat, because I heard you fix some notes as well. But just keep fixing them. That's the best thing to do at this point.
Okay.
Okay? Awesome, guys. Let's do it all once more, shall we? Chicken G major. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. There we go. Now that was a warm up and a half there, everybody. How we all feeling? Everything good? That's good. Okay. So, shall we try our, what do you call it there? What do we do? Twinkle Twinkle really quickly, just for the warm up? Okay. Let's do it with the jiggle. Like that, okay? Just follow along with me. Get that hand jiggling. It'll be fun. Jiggle, jiggle, twinkle, twinkle. Ready, and... Jiggling? Let's do it again right away. 1, 2, twinkle, twinkle. right, cool. Everybody getting along okay with that? Great, that's good. And it bends your ear a little bit to do something like that because, you know, whereas it's usually A, E. This time it's just a big string of A. So you have to count it out in your head, which is a very good thing to do, okay? Any questions about any of that? Any difficulties or problems? No, that's great. Okay. Now, so we started working on Rosebud, I know that, but you're going to have to remind me, what tune did we do just before Rosebud? Or did we?
That's it. We just did Rosebud, Twinkle Twinkle.
Twinkle Twinkle and Rosebud, cool. And how far have we got through Rosebud? Have we got the whole thing yet?
Yeah.
We did? Oh, that's great. Okay, let's give it a go. Let's whack the helmets on there and see how far we get. Okay, Rosebud of Allan Vale. And we'll go slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. The second part. That part. A2. All right. How'd that go, everyone? Getting it here and there? Hey, Mimi, I saw your hand radically jump up the neck of the violin. Did that take you by surprise?
Sure did.
Yeah.
What's happening? And then I saw it up here, and I was like, that's not right. And then I had to
Yeah.
readjust, and then I got kind of lost. So I did
Yeah.
another crack.
Yeah, oh yeah. I call that the Great Northern Migration. It happens to everybody. It's something to keep your eye on for sure.
Okay.
Anybody else having any serious problems? Can't do it. Hopeless. Can't get through it. Heather?
I can do it, but really slow. So I'll be way behind y'all today.
Slower than that? Okay. All right. Who is in the same boat? can do it like if it was slower, could get through it. Okay. Anybody else? I mean, 2 is enough.
I am, just because I don't know well enough.
Okay. Well, let's go ultra slow, guys. Okay. As they say in the British Navy, ahead, dead slow. All right. Nice and slow. And actually, I'm gonna get the music up just so I don't improvise anything. So I'm as unconfusing as possible. Okay. Really, really slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Repeat. Second part. Repeat that. All right. Did it work that time? Better? How about you, Stacy?
Yeah, it was better. I didn't know we were repeating until you were shutting it out, like when I was just reading the sheet music and practicing.
Oh,
That's good to know.
yeah.
I think those 2 little dots mean repeat.
Yes, the colon means repeat. And if you're going to
Okay.
when you play fiddle music, get used to those colons.
Okay, good to know.
Most tunes, like 90% of tunes, have an A part and a B part, and we repeat both parts.
Okay.
Okay? So it's a very common kind of formula. So I'm glad you're getting through it okay. I can see one thing when you're playing that might make your job a lot easier is that
Yeah.
you are one of these guys.
I know. Once you
Okay.
started pointing it out, I couldn't unsee it.
Okay. As long as you're aware of it, that's going to do the job. Now you're going to see that. You're going to notice it. I think for you, probably just this. Generally, just this. That's all you need to do. Just a little bit too,
Yeah. It seems like when I'm looking down, I'm straight, but then it's not until I actually see myself like in the zoom that I realize I'm not straight.
I should also tell you, and I don't know if I explained this to everybody, but this angle of looking not only at your bow on the strings, but also at your fingers does you absolutely no good. The perception of angle is really hard to perceive here because your eyes are already at an angle to it. That's why the mirror is so much better. Or the zoom screen is even better because it's not a mirror image.
Right. So where should we be looking if we're not looking right down? Like at my fingers?
You should look at your right hand if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking at your fingers doesn't do much good either because once you have your third finger down, you can't see anything behind it. See that?
Okay, so I'm looking at all the wrong spots then.
It's the normal. It's what everybody does. Everybody stares right down there. But if you can actually, I had a teacher once that said, if you can look at anything at all, it should be your right arm while you're trying to play it. Because then you can keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? Or just don't look at anything. Everybody tells me that I have my eyes closed most of the time that I'm playing.
Okay.
Okay? Do it by feel. And with the angle thing, you know it by the sound. You're getting a nice, good, full sound. You know your angle's good. You know? Okay? Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Anybody else have any comments or suggestions or problems or concerns?
My E is really, really like I'm finding it hard to get a good tone out of the E string today.
Yeah. Can you play it for me?
I'm kind of playing. I'm almost bowing my violin.
Play in the
I
wood.
might just get too steep an angle.
Yeah, let me see you do it. Now that was not too bad there, Mimi.
Yeah. It's like when I'm in the middle of the piece, I find it hard to find that center again. Out of context, it's fine, but then it's like I overshoot maybe.
You could overshoot. Also, do you find that you're hesitating a little bit with the bow on the E string when we're playing the tune, when the notes are flying? Yeah. Because here's what a hesitating E sounds like. Is that kind of what you're getting?
Yeah.
Okay, so just because when you just did it then, you were moving freely. And it sounded pretty good. You weren't really having any problems. So see if you can exaggerate the movement on the E string.
Yeah, because I think when I'm less confident about the fingering, my bow is also less confident.
Oh,
right?
I think I was saying last time, your right arm is a better tuner than your tuner. And it just started playing the fiddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to force it. I find, just kind of move it anyway. And then the nice thing about moving it anyway is that if you're not quite in tune with your left hand, the fact that you're moving the bow means you can hear that. And you can actually tune it, right? Okay, so just move it in.
It's one of those like pat your head, rub your stomach.
Absolutely.
They want to sort of be at the same confidence level instead of being able to kind of be independent.
It's like acting and singing at the same time or something like that.
Way easier.
Oh, wow, okay. All right. Anybody else having anything they'd like to mention or point out that I can help them with before we should try it again? Did you do better that time, Heather? Yeah, you did? Good. So it's just the tempo, really? Okay, good. So we'll do it at the same tempo. Anybody that has the tune and it's sounding pretty good, this is your chance to work on belt note that sound, moving that bow, getting a little bit more in tune. If you have all that stuff going on and everything is, relatively perf, try putting a wiggle on a few of the notes like this. And that's how we do it in the Celtic tradition. We don't put vibrato on until like 2/3 of the note is over. And then, as the very last bit of the note comes along, we speed up the bow and do the vibrato. This is if you're already kind of doing it. And you get that swelling, it's a very Celtic thing. You hearing how that works there? How we bring in that ornamentation, okay? So that's going to be your job. If you have no problem with this tune, see if you can get a few of those things in there. Let's go again, guys. Same speed. Move that bow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Repeat. Second part. Oh, repeat, sorry. All right. How'd it go that time? Yeah?
I have a question, a
Yeah.
stylistic question. I know you mentioned last week, I guess, that you've been changing your up and down bow for every single note. But
Yeah.
when you play this, do you ever just kind of like rock between the E and the A on the same stroke, or is it always kind of in Celtic kind of fiddle tradition? It's more stylistic to just kind of change.
Well, yeah, it's a very good question. So with the Scottish and Irish, there's unfortunately nothing but variations when it comes to bowing tunes. You know, everybody bows it differently. There's like 1,000 ways you could bow this tune. I could do, and what you're talking about when you play two notes in one bow, two or more notes in one bow, that's called a slur. And so you're talking about, like, you can see me doing it on the pickup. I slur the pickup. See that? And then I can do this too. See that? Or I can single bow them. See that? Or I can slur the whole thing. So it's really up to the player. And I saw this book once at my friend Brian's house. It was some egghead from the States who decided he was going to kind of write out and notate Western Irish fiddling bowing, right? And the first paragraph in the book is his frustration at trying to figure out, first of all, by sight, how the guys are bowing the tunes, because it's 120 beats per minute and you're watching this and you're like, up bow, down bow, slur, I don't know. So that's his first thing. Second thing is he's just running into nothing but diversity. He goes from place to place, different approach. But one thing that I've noticed between the bunch of traditions is there are certain elements. So, for instance, going up after a long note in 4/4. So you're playing High Road to Linton. See that? Okay. There's also the Irish longbow style, where you do 3 up and 1 down. See that? So you run into these little elements that actually they work every time. And so you kind of, we'll learn them as we go along. Now the first one we'll learn is that up after a long note. 2 notes in the up bow after a quarter note or something there. Because the thing is that we get into this rhythm. Well, as soon as we do a long note, now we're going backwards. Very difficult, much more awkward. See what I mean? We're designed for down bow, down beat. See, your down bow is your strongest note. You have gravity going for you. The bow moves smoother and straighter. And so we kind of use those for our downbeats. So when I'm doing that slurring, for instance, I'm kind of slurring the pickup so I can make a nice, good, long down bow. See that? So it might be a way you can do it. For now, downy uppy is going to work for sure. And it's good to get used to it because you're kind of, it helps you articulate the rhythm a little bit better. Here's the danger with slurring for beginners. See that? That's the danger. You can do different length notes. They're all supposed to be 8th notes, but you're just kind of piling your fingers on and you don't notice. Whereas if you do it with single bows, even without trying, you're getting that defined rhythm. Okay? So you can experiment, but your bass line could still be single bows. If you ever get confused, you always go back to that.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions like that? No? Can we try it a tiny bit faster? Just the tiniest bit faster. Now the people that have trouble keeping up, just keep hopping back in to the skipping rope, okay? Every time you fall down, just wait for that A part or B part to come along. Hop back in there if you can. All right, a little tiny bit faster. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Is there any questions or any comments or anybody that wants to play it? Yes, Sherry.
Okay. I tend to get bad habits really quick, so I
Me
need
too.
your support or nip this in the bud.
Okay.
So I haven't played all week, so it's like I'm brand new again. But it's so uncomfortable today that I'm not even using my thumb at all. So,
Yeah.
and I'm finding it so much easier. Is that a bad habit?
Oh God, no, jeez, no. It's like I do not clench with my thumb at all either. And if I do, it's because something happened to me earlier in the day to make me tense and in a bad mood, and I'm crunching on the fiddle like this, and I avoid it at all costs. Actually,
Okay.
I'm not surprised you felt it was easier without your thumb. Like my thumb does touch. You do have to kind of touch the fiddle as you go around, right? But it does not clamp. The clamping is only going to cause you problems. So the free thumb is what you really want. See that? Yeah, because you remember, like eventually you want to be able to go up here and everything, right?
Great.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm glad you noticed that. But yeah, for everybody, especially people that have the Grand Northern Migration, that pinching, if you're pinching with your thumb at all, that's going to really ratchet you up and cause you all kinds of problems. So a loose thumb is great. Once in a while, this is back when I was actually playing for a living and doing a lot of playing. Once in a while, I would play just when I'm waiting for a lesson or something without my thumb at all. And when I mean that, I mean my thumb completely off of the fiddle. And it seemed to remind my hand that it doesn't need the thumb to finger the fiddle, and it seemed to make my hand be able to relax more for the next, I don't know, it usually lasts about 5 or 6 weeks or a couple of months or whatever, and I'll show you what I mean. So I have no thumb at all. See that? No thumb at all. And it's not ideal, but when I do it so that my hand remembers that it's not this clamping thing. It's just a little gentle poke is all you need. And so disconnecting that thumb, getting it relaxed is really good. Okay? Opposite of a bad habit. And bad habits are usually fun. That's the thing. Anyway, anybody else noticing anything like that? Very good point. Yes, Lena.
Similarly, I've been noticing lately that on my right hand, I barely ever put my pinky down. Is that a bad habit?
Well, it's only because you're not really going down to the frog of the bow very much right now. Like, you probably played that whole rosebud from here to about here. Am I right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, yeah. Something to keep your eye on. But you only really need your pinky when you pass that middle mark and the tip now wants to fall over to the G and the D. See that? Or wherever it is. That's when you start to have to use your pinky to counteract the weight of that stick. See that? So if you're playing everything kind of in the fiddling sweet spot, which is the upper third, you might never need to engage your pinky. But if you do go past the middle, it becomes important. You'll find that you're fighting that tip of that bow, wanting to put too much pressure on the string you're playing because of that overhang. See what I mean? Okay? So just keep your eye on it. See how much bow you're actually using. And I always say use the whole thing if you can. I think it'd be great for you because then you'd learn when to use it and when you don't need it. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Good question. Anybody else? Anything at all? How are you doing there, Bill? You getting all this stuff? You finding any improvement happening? Yeah. He's always surprised when I'm talking to him.
Yeah, I don't hear too well.
Oh, I know the feeling. Yeah, but you finding any improvement happening there, Bill?
Yeah, I am. Like I have that problem with arthritis, especially in my right hand,
Okay, really?
Bumps and everything. So when you get old, it's kind of hard to go. But what I'm doing, I'm just doing the beginner thing. I'm not doing the Wednesday night thing because I can't keep up with the.
Right.
I can't do it that fast, and I can't learn that many songs that quick.
Okay. Yeah.
I really like doing this, so because I'm still learning stuff.
That's great.
And, so I think I'm getting
That's good. You know, you talk about the right hand. What's that?
Try to play that
Oh,
song.
please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
The thing, when I go from down to that string, I have trouble.
Yeah, and I can see one thing that might help you is that you're hefting up your whole arm to go over there. And what happens there is as soon as you get kind of up here, it starts to push on your bow. And you feel like you're kind of crashing into the strings over there?
Yeah, so I should just do.
Yeah, that's way better. Way better, way better. That's less work. You always want to work less. We're fiddle players. We hate working. We don't want to work. It's for suckers. Anyway, that is much better, Bill. I find your sound is better. You're getting a better length of note now. All your notes have a little bit more length to them, which is much better. And the intonation's coming along too. So that's really good, man. Very good. You know, say he was talking about the right hand and arthritis. Sandy McIntyre, poor Sandy, he had Parkinson's. And it came and went with him. And he still has Parkinson's. He's still going. But he said one of the main problems was that with his right hand with the Parkinson's was the inability to use these fingers here on the bow. Because they would just kind of go like this. And so he had a lot of trouble controlling which string he was on and how much weight he was putting on the bow. That was what caused him the most trouble. But he found a workaround. He said all he had to do was just, he knew he was going to kind of be pressing too hard because of the Parkinson's, so he would just exaggerate kind of getting off of the bow. And that seemed to give him a happy medium and did him for a good number of years. See what I mean? So you can always find a workaround, and it usually involves less work. Okay, if there's no more questions or comments, let's try it one more time, and then we're going to talk about a new tune. Okay, let's see if we can get this to a nice little tempo. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. looking good. Everybody's bow continuing to move. How did we do that time? How was the speed, Heather and Stacy?
Yeah, better. I could keep up, I think.
Great, that's good.
I have one question.
Yep.
So the start of like the second repeat,
Yep.
I've got my sheet music in front of me. It says a 2, 3, E0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
That always sounds really bad for me. Like
Now,
the 1, 2.
Yeah, do you
And then it
see?
says close above it. Is it something different?
Yeah, it's close. So that sign that's next to it there is a natural sign, okay?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you look in the key signature at the beginning of the bar, that G is supposed to be a G sharp.
Okay.
But because this is the Rosebud of Allendale, and J. Scott Skinner decided wanted that to be a G natural, he stuck that
Yeah.
natural sign next to it. So that makes that note an accidental.
Okay.
Okay? That's what it's called when there's one. No, because then, as we go on, we put that 2 back up where it normally goes for the rest of the tune. See what I mean? So,
Yeah, because that's the only one that seems to be off for me. Is that
For
one
sure.
E2.
and
Yeah.
so that above it, it says close.
Yeah.
Or they also call that a low 2. And so that means that instead of being the gap between 1 and 2, we're going to drag it back and put it here. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So instead of sounding like this, okay, it's going to sound like this. See what I mean there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're playing a G natural instead of a G sharp. And it's just like in the G major scale how we have to play the 2 close to the 1. That's what we got to do there.
Okay.
Okay? Cool. Anybody else having any problems like that? I'm here to help. Heather, did you get through it that time?
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, you getting through it? So the
Yeah,
little faster tempo
getting
didn't
through
hurt
it.
you?
Just need to practice and yeah.
Cool.
Some squeaky bits, but
Me
getting there.
too. Okay, good. Right on. Anybody else? Anybody want to try playing a bit of it for me or anything like that before we move on to another tune? No?
Let me do it then.
Yay! Great job, Elaine. Very, very good. Yeah. And I'll tell you, good tuning. You know, I heard you starting to come sharp, and then back you go. Back. A couple times you did that, worked out really good. Keep doing that. That's the only thing that I found that was kind of could be better was that, but you kept fixing it, so that's great. See what I mean? Really good. Much better bow. Way better. Okay, guys. New tune time? Yeah. So I'm going to give you a choice, all right? I usually don't do that, but, you know, COVID's got me bored. I want to see what happens if I give you a choice. So I got a few different types of tunes we could look at, okay? And I'm thinking about the different traditions and the way they start kids off, you know? And in Cape Breton, that tune there, Rosebud, is a very, very common, very first tune that you learn is the Rosebud. But I'm thinking about the faster dancey stuff, like jigs and reels and polkas and hornpipes and strathspeys and stuff like that. And I'm thinking about in Cape Breton how oftentimes one of the first ones you'll get is, so first of all, Miss McLeod's Reel that some of these guys have already learned. Then I was thinking about over in Ireland, and there's a couple of them that they do there. One of the first ones they teach the kids there is Egan's Polka or Kerry Polka. Great tune, great old tune. And it's an old one too. And then there's jigs. And so over in Ireland, one of the first jigs you learn might be the Kesh jig. And they call her, in fact, they call her the poor old Kesh. Cape Breton, you might learn the Cock of the North. Oh, well, sorry, hold on. No, wrong tune. So. So that's just a few examples. There's so many beginning tunes. It's so much fun. You can play, there's like 100 beginning tunes that I can think of. So what do you think? Are we in a 6/8 mood? That's what I just played, jigs, or 6/8. 6/8 notes per measure. Got your message there, Sherry. So that's a jig, is the Kesh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how a jig works. See that? Okay, that's 2 votes for Kesh. That's good. And
I like the last one, but I like the Kesh too. So I'm flexible, but I'd rather learn something new. I don't want to do Mrs. McLeod since we've already.
Oh yeah, we will. We'll do that. We'll review for you. It'll be a review, but we'll do that later on. But okay, I think Kesh it is. Okay, and we've already done a Scottish one, so we better do an Irish one, or else my Irish friends will get all mad at me. Okay, so now I'm going to play it. First of all, I'll play it a good couple of times. Get your ear around it. It's in, for people that might be getting onto this kind of idea now, it's in the key of G. Okay?
How do you spell it? How do you spell it?
Yeah, K-E-S-H.
Kesh, okay.
Yeah, Kesh jig. All right? So poor old Kesh. So it's in G. So it uses the same finger patterns as we learned on the G major scale, which is that close 2 that Stacy was asking about there, okay? The close 2 on the E and on the A. So first of all, I'll play it for you a good couple of times. You can get your head around it. first part kind of slow. The first note is the D3. It's a G. That's what they call the middle G. So your G string is your low G, and your D3 is your middle G, and your high G is the E2 close. See that? That's the high G. So 3 G's in the key of G there. Anyway, so we're starting off with the middle G, a great big long one. And then we play a short one and we scale up to the B or A1. See that? So that lick all together sounds like this. Okay, let's try that together. Everybody get your D3 down on the fiddle there. And we'll play a great big long G followed by a short one, short A, short B. Ready, and G, G, A, B. Okay, let's do that again. Same thing. Ready, 2, go. G, another G, G, A, B. Now we're going to do exactly the same idea, except we're going to start with the long A. And then we scale up from A, but we skipped right to 3. We skipped 2. Okay, so that lick sounds like this. A, B, D. Or the numbers, it's open A again, 1, 3. That's how that lick sounds. Let's try that together, okay? Open A, and then A1, A3. 1, 2, go. A, B, D. That looked good. Do it again. Ready, go. A, B, D. Yep, that all looks right, guys. Very good. So now when you put those together, we got the G, A, B, long A, another A, B, G. We getting that? That looks like people are getting it. Let's do it a couple of times. Okay, ready, 2, G. Another G, A, B, long A, another A, B, D. Are we getting that? One more time, I swear. Ready, 2, D3. 3, A, 1, long A. Open, 1, 3. Okay, that looks like it's coming along good. The next bit is one of these repeated bits where we repeat a note. So we go E to the A3, which we play twice. So it sounds like this. Okay, let's all do that together. E, A3, A3. Ready, go. Okay, do it again. Ready, go. Yeah, and then we do exactly the same thing, except instead of an open E, we're going to play an E2 close, a high G. See that? So get that E2 down on the E string there, and your A3 down on the A at the same time if you can. It'd be great. And we'll play G, D, D, or E2, A3, A3. Ready, go. Let's do it again. Ready, go. Okay, so when you put those together, it's E, D, D, G, D, D. Okay, let's try that together. Open E to the A3. Ready, go. E, A3, A3, E2, A3, A3. Okay, that looked good. Let's do it again. Ready, E. Okay, then we go on down from E like this. A little jog there. We play E, A3, A1, and then back up to the 3, A1 again, open A, and then we're ready to do the first phrase again. See that? That's what comes after that. So let's see if we can get that little scale down there. Open E, A3, A1, open A. Let's try if we can get those notes in. So open E, A3, A1, A3, A1, open A, and then you're ready to start your G3 again. Okay, for the first phrase again. Let's do that little scale down once more. Open E, A3, A1, open A. Ready, go. A3, sorry. 1, A. Okay, and that note at the end I'm playing is a D3. One more time, from the E. Ready, go. Okay, so this is how much we now have there, guys. And then by rights, you should be able to do this. That's the ending. Okay, we getting that? So now, let's see if we can do it. All right, the first note is D3. To get that third finger down on the D string, there's going to be a long one and then a short one. Okay, ready, go. 3, 3, A, A1, long A. Another A. 1, 3, E, A3. Another A3. E2, A3, A3, E, A3, 1, another 3, 1, A, long 3 again, short 3, A, A1, long A, another short A, 1, 3, E, A3, another one, G, A3, A1, go down the scale, A, D3, D2, and a great big long G. Yes, I tricked you into playing the ending. Yes, I did. A couple of people were on to me, but I got most of you. Okay? So how did we do with that? Is it hopeless for anybody? Or does anybody need clarification before we try it again like that? Really, really slow. Yes, Bibi?
Are there any tricks for going between E2 and A3 really fast?
Put them both down at the same time. It's my best advice to you. Yeah, I'm always doing that. It's a very useful thing to do. And if you happen to play them together by accident, you get a fourth. It's like beautiful interval on the fiddle. Okay? So that's the best way to do that. That's the way I do it anyway. All right? Good question.
So basically, you're putting all 3 fingers down on the A string and just kind of flattening out the top 2 to encompass the second to the E string.
Yep, that's a really good way to do it. That's the way I do it all the time. I put, especially.
You're not putting 2 fingers on the E string and leaving one behind. You're like.
You can also. You do both, but the first way you described is a really good way to do it. You know what? I think that might be a bit awkward. I think the way that I described it before was putting them both down. See, when I play that bit, watch this. Both of them come down automatically at the same time. See that? I'm always doing that type of thing. Okay, that might be the way to do it. Okay? Anybody else? That was a good question. Anybody else?
I have a question. Could you just go over one more time the pattern after we do
Yep, so we got a scale down that skips 2. Yep, and then skips 2 again. Keeps going down. That's her.
Okay.
Scale down, skip 2. Okay? Anybody else? Clarification? No? All right, let's... Yep.
You call out that ending when it's time? That's
Yes.
like that.
Let me show you beforehand, just before we get there. So it's kind of the same lick, but instead of doing the 2 Ds the second time, like the first time we go E, D, D, G, D, D, but this time we're going to only do E, D, D, G, D, B, and then keep going down the scale. So it sounds like this. 1, A, 3, 2, 3. See that? Let's try that together, guys. So it's the E, D, D, just like we learned earlier. Ready? E, D, D, E2, A3, A1, open A, D3, D2, and then the 3 to finish. Okay, that's the ending. Let's do it once more from the E. Okay, ready? And E. E, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, A, D3, 2, 3. That's the ending, okay? So now, let us put our helmets and flak jackets on, start at the top of this thing, and charge through until we can't walk anymore, all right? So we got the D3 and it's a long one. Okay. Ready, go. 3, 3, A, 1, A. Another A, 1, 3, E to the D. E2, D. E, A3, A1, 3, 1, A, first phrase. Another G, A, 1, long A. Another A, 1, 3, E, D, D. E2, A3, A1, open A, D3, D2, 3. Let's do it all again. Down we go. Okay, now that didn't look terrible, guys. I'm looking at the fingers, and it looks like people are moving their fingers the right way. Is it hopeless? Heather, are you just getting tired, or is it hopeless for you? Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody having serious trouble where they can't get this tune? No? That's great. Okay. I think Heather's having technical difficulty. Yes, Heather.
Hi. Yeah, I just at the very beginning, were you jumping from like the string notation, you know, the G1 2 3, D1 2 3, and the G major scale notation? Were you jumping around at first?
Yeah, I try to use both to get you used to both the letter names and the numbers, you know what I mean? Because both are useful, you know? The numbers are a more direct way to do it, but then what happens is what happened to me, where I didn't really know what note I was playing until I was like 16. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the problem with the numbers. I love the numbers. The numbers are a really direct way to learn music. Like, I can just shout numbers and make you play a tune you've never heard before. But then you don't know it doesn't give you the good understanding of where the notes are on the fiddle and stuff. So I try to do both, and I hope it's not too confusing. But I try to do both to try to get that idea. You know, when you put your E2 down, that's the high G. Because like the high G, fiddle players refer to the high G. Everybody knows what it is. See what I mean? And other things too, the high A and the or the F, for instance, F natural, not a usual note. You know, just things like that. It is helpful to learn those things from the outset. Okay. Anybody else having any problems? Anyone? Okay, one more time before we're finished, shall we? We'll learn the second part next time, and I'll send out music that has numbers and music without numbers, and I'll put the video up on YouTube. Here we go. One more time. Big G, ready, and... ending. 3, 2, 3. Do it again. I'll call it out. 3, 3, A, 1, A, 1, 3, E, A, 3, 3, E2, A, 3, 3, E, A3, A1, 3, 1, A, D3. Another one. A, 1, long A, short A, 1, 3, E, A3, E2, A3, 1, A, D3, 2, 3. Okay, it's looking pretty good. It doesn't really look like people are having huge problems with the Kesh. Okay? Is there anything that you're having problems with that I do not perceive from here in Fairbank Avenue in Toronto to wherever you are there? Anybody? I'm open for questions. This is your chance. Ask me anything.
Do you have any good reminders for, I'm really finding myself clamping up on the left hand all the time, and I keep having to remind myself to reposition. Do you have any good tips for that?
You know, I haven't heard any surefire cures for that. Just keep, if you keep thinking of it, that's the most important thing. Just keep reminding yourself of it is the best thing you can do, you know. Oh, the one thing that might help a bit is really try to remember that you're using the fronts of your fingers. Okay? Because when you got the shelf thing, that's your tendency there, then it's really hard to use the fronts of your fingers. You got to do this weird kind of contortion. See that? With especially the third finger, it's really, you got to kind of go like that. So if you're thinking of using the fronts of your fingers, you might more instinctively go like that. See what I mean? Okay, does that help? I hope it helps. And then other people have suggested, like I had one student that actually tried to put a nail on his fiddle. You know, I talked him out of it. Or a taser might help. Something, you know. It's a hard one. That's a hard one. Yeah. Anybody else having any insurmountable problems such as that? No? Okay, cool. So my best advice so far this week, what did you think of playing the scales with the bowing exercises. It would up the game a little bit, eh? Did it go okay for everybody though? Okay, so do a bit of that this week. Use those bowing exercises on your scales. Try to get them a little stronger, maybe faster and cleaner, of course. And then do your rosebud. Try to pull the sound out of your fiddle, get a little bit more in tune. Hold the long notes out for their full length, okay? So that you can get that tune nice and polished up. And then see what you can do about that first part of the catch. See if you can remember the bits of it, even if it's just the opening phrase or whatever. And I'll definitely, of course, get the music out and the YouTube videos up. But in the meantime, see if you can get that inner ear to remember what the catch should sound like. Big long G, G, up we go. Big long A, up we go. You know, that's the idea of the tune. So see if you can get that internalized. Is that going to work? Okay, thanks a million, everybody. Great class tonight. All right. See you later. Scott, you got a question? Looks like he has a question.
I was just wondering, what was the last song option that you played? The Cape Breton one?
That was called Cock of the North.
Okay.
Great one. Take a look at it. Any of those tunes that I mentioned, and you can go back and look on the videos because I'm recording tonight for the tune. But I talked about Miss McLeod's, Cock of the North, Egan's Polka, and Kesh Jig. I think that's all of them, right? Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So any of those, check them out on YouTube or whatever. It'd be really good. Familiarize yourself. All right? Okay. See you guys. Bye-bye.